Original footage. Yumenglong cry for help heard from 9th-Floor hotel room. The air was thick with disbelief as the video dropped online. It wasn't from any news agency, not even the underground sources that had been feeding the world bits of truth since Yumenglong's mysterious death. This one came from inside the hotel, the one where he spent his final night alive. The file was titled simply, Room 904 Uncut. For years, fans had begged to know what really happened that night. The rumors, the leaks, the silence, it had all built to this. But nothing, not even the darkest theory, could prepare anyone for what the footage revealed. The video begins in eerie calm. The timestamp reads 2:37 a.m. The camera, likely hidden behind the television, shows a side view of the dimly lit suite. Yumenglong is pacing the room, barefoot, his hair disheveled, his hands trembling. His phone lies shattered on the floor, and the once peaceful star looks like he's battling unseen forces. He picks up a notepad from the bedside table, scribbling something furiously, his breath ragged. Then, suddenly, he jerks his head toward the door, as if he's heard something. "Who's there?" he says. His voice is low, frightened. For a moment, silence. Then a muffled knock. He steps back, shaking his head.
"No, not again."
"Please." Those words, "not again," are what sent fans spiraling. What did he mean? Had someone been harassing him before that night? Had he already sensed the danger closing in? The next 30 seconds of the footage are chilling. The door handle twitches. A faint whisper echoes through the room. It's impossible to tell if it's male or female. Yumenglong backs up until he hits the window, clutching his chest, whispering something repeatedly under his breath. When forensic experts later enhanced the audio, they claimed he was saying, "I told them I wouldn't do it. I told them." Then came the sound that tore through millions of hearts. A single, desperate cry for help. The kind that doesn't just echo, it scars. He runs toward the balcony door, fumbles with the latch, and the video cuts to static. When the feed returns, the room is empty. The curtains sway gently in the midnight wind. That was the last visual of Yumenglong alive. Online detectives quickly began analyzing every pixel, every second of background noise. One thing stood out. In the reflection of the glass door, there appeared to be a second figure inside the room just seconds before the feed went dark. A shadow moving toward him. The internet exploded. Was it his manager, as some believed? Was it the mysterious woman rumored to have followed him from the elevator? Or was it one of the men from Tianyu Media, the same organization that had already been linked to secret surveillance? Social media drowned in grief and fury. Fans wrote messages like, "We failed him," and "He cried for help and no one came." Within hours, vigils formed outside the hotel, candles lighting the very pavement beneath the 9th-floor balcony. But what turned this tragedy into something truly haunting was what came next. Security staff confessed that, in the hours following the incident, someone had tampered with the CCTV system. The footage that police released publicly was missing nearly 9 minutes, the exact gap that the new clip filled. That gap had hidden everything. Investigators retraced Menglong's final movements that evening. Witnesses saw him arrive at the hotel at 9:12 p.m. with a black hoodie pulled over his head. He appeared nervous but polite, avoiding eye contact. The receptionist confirmed he had asked for a room, with no cameras near the door. Hours later, 2 unidentified men were seen entering the building through the staff elevator. No records, no check-ins, no exits. And now, with the leaked footage, the world finally saw the moment before he disappeared forever. As reporters swarmed the hotel, one janitor came forward, his hands shaking as he recalled the screams. It was like he knew he was going to die, he said. He shouted once, loud enough to wake the entire floor, but then nothing. Just silence. The silence that followed that scream became the haunting soundtrack of Yumenglong's legacy. Soon, more hidden recordings emerged, audio snippets allegedly captured from a camera in the corridor. One captured what sounded like 2 men arguing outside room 904. The words were faint but audible. "He's recording everything. Then make sure he never does again." That was the line that broke the internet. Overnight, Room 904 became a symbol of betrayal and fear, the final battleground where a beloved artist's life was cut short. But what shocked fans even more was that the cry for help didn't just echo in the footage, it echoed in real time across other hotel guests' phones. Several people staying on the same floor claimed they received an unknown FaceTime call around 2:38 a.m., only to hear a man screaming before the line went dead. Phone companies later confirmed that the calls had originated from Menglong's device, 2 minutes after the timestamp of his final recording. How could that be possible? His phone had already been smashed. Was someone else in that room, using his device? Or did the system glitch in the chaos, sending his last desperate plea across the network? Meanwhile, forensic experts confirmed that Menglong's fingerprints were found near the window frame, but there were other prints too, belonging to someone still unidentified. And that mysterious note he had scribbled just before the knock. It was recovered, half torn, with only a few words legible. They said, "I'm next if I talk. Tell Fei." The rest was gone, soaked in spilled tea. Xing Fei, upon hearing this, collapsed. For days she refused to speak to reporters, but one close friend quoted her saying, "He never wanted fame. He wanted peace. And they couldn't give him that." As the investigation deepened, a forensic lab in Singapore confirmed that the leaked video was not fake. It matched the hotel's architecture, sound levels, and timestamp data perfectly. That validation shattered what little trust remained between Tianyu media and the public. Then, just when it seemed things couldn't get worse, a new detail surfaced. Someone claiming to be a hotel IT technician confessed that he was ordered to delete all backups of room 904 under direct instructions from higher management. He refused at first. 2 days later, he vanished. But before disappearing, he left a USB drive with a trusted colleague. Inside were short clips, 10 seconds each, from the hotel's exterior cameras. One showed something unmistakable, a man leaving the building through the basement exit carrying a phone identical to Menglong's. The entire world erupted once more. Theories spread that Menglong may have captured something too dangerous to be seen, something the powerful couldn't afford to let reach the public. Some said it was evidence of a corruption ring inside the entertainment industry. Others believed it was proof of deeper government involvement. But what everyone agreed on was simple. Yumenglong's cry for help had finally been heard. Now, people wanted justice. Candlelight vigils continued for weeks. Artists across Asia broke their silence, calling out the culture of fear that haunted the industry. Fan-made memorials filled Weibo, TikTok, and YouTube, each one echoing the same sentiment. He tried to speak. Now we will speak for him. And somewhere in a quiet corner of Beijing, a single candle burned by the window of an old apartment, the one Menglong once called home. Beside it lay his guitar, untouched, strings dusty, but still intact. A neighbor claimed that on quiet nights, they could still hear faint humming from the room, the same melody from his unfinished song. Whether it was memory, imagination, or something more, no one could say. But one thing was certain. The cry that came from that 9th-floor hotel room didn't die there. It became a storm, a voice the world could no longer ignore. The leaked footage had already set the world ablaze, but no one was ready for what came next. Less than 48 hours after room 904, uncut, went public, an extended version appeared online. This version was clearer, longer, and infinitely more disturbing. Someone had tampered with it, not to fake anything, but to restore what had been hidden. It began the same way, Yumenglong pacing the room, muttering to himself, his phone broken on the floor. But this time, just seconds before his chilling cry for help, the new footage zoomed out, as if a second hidden camera had been activated. That's when the world saw it. A shadow. Not a trick of light, not a blur, an actual figure standing in the corner of the room, almost perfectly still. The person wore a black jacket, hood drawn low, face unrecognizable. But what made viewers' blood run cold was the reflection on the mirror near the minibar. 2 faint glints of light where eyes should be. They were watching him. And Yumenglong knew. You could see it in the way he glanced toward that corner every few seconds, whispering under his breath. Audio experts later confirmed he was saying the same line repeatedly, They said not to talk. They said not to talk. Then came the sound of metal like a lock being turned. He froze, clutching his chest again. His breathing became shallow. He reached for the balcony door, but before he could open it, the shadow moved. The camera shook violently, and the footage went blurry, but not before a chilling detail flashed across the screen. A hand wearing a distinct silver ring reached toward him. Fans immediately began searching through old interviews and red carpet photos, and it didn't take long before the internet matched the ring. It belonged to Du Chong, Yumenglong's longtime manager. This discovery sent shockwaves through every corner of social media. Could the man who managed Menglong's career, the one who arranged his final hotel booking, have been in that room that night? Police had always insisted Du Chong was out of town during the incident. But the new footage told a different story. The timestamp didn't lie. Within hours, #DuChongExposed became the #1 trending topic on Weibo, with over 1 billion views in less than a day. Fans began reposting old videos of Menglong looking visibly tense during interviews, often glancing off camera as if seeking silent approval or permission to speak. In one now viral clip, Menglong laughs nervously when asked about his relationship with his manager. "He takes care of everything for me," he says. "Sometimes a little too much." That line, once brushed off as humor, now sounded like a warning. Meanwhile, more chilling details began to surface. Hotel staff confirmed that the power on the 9th floor flickered at precisely 2:39 a.m., matching the moment the original video cut to static. But what's terrifying is what came after. A faint, rhythmic sound caught in the background of the security feed. Dragging. The sound of something or someone being pulled across the carpet. Technicians enhanced the audio further and detected low, muffled speech. It wasn't clear, but one phrase stood out enough to send chills down everyone's spine. "Take him to the van." The footage ends there. When investigators traced the hotel's security backups, they discovered that footage from the basement and parking area had been deleted at 3:04 a.m., exactly 25 minutes later. Coincidence? No one believed that anymore. And then came the eyewitness. A food delivery rider, identified only as Mr. Lin, came forward. He claimed to have been at the hotel at that exact time, waiting for an order pickup. Through the glass lobby, he saw two men carrying something large wrapped in a sheet. At first, he thought it was laundry. Then, one of the men dropped a corner of the sheet, revealing what looked like a hand. He froze. When they noticed him watching, one man smiled faintly and said, "Back door, employee only." Mr. Lin ran. But before doing so, he took a blurry photo with his phone, an image that later circulated online. It showed the hotel basement door partially open, a white sheet trailing from a cart, and what looked unmistakably like blood smeared on the tiles. The authorities initially dismissed it as fabric dye, but the image told another story. Then the darkest twist of all, the audio logs. Forensic experts recovered a partial voicemail from Menglong's phone to his close friend Fan Shichi. The message was never sent but had been recorded automatically. The voice is faint, trembling, and filled with panic. "Shichi, they came. I told you I'd be next. Please don't tell anyone yet. If they find this, just keep face safe. Don't let them." The audio ends with a loud crash. Fan Shichi has since vanished from public view. His social media accounts went inactive days after the leak, and no one has seen him since. Some believe he's in hiding. Others whisper that he's been silenced. And what of Du Chong? Sources close to Tianyu Media revealed that he was quietly taken in for questioning but released less than 24 hours later due to lack of evidence. The release only fueled suspicions that powerful figures were working behind the scenes to bury the truth. But they couldn't bury the footage. Every attempt to scrub it from the internet failed. Each time it disappeared from one platform, it reappeared on another. Thousands of users mirrored it, shared it, encrypted it, turning it into digital wildfire. And then, something eerie happened during one of the forensic broadcasts analyzing the clip. When an AI system tried to clean the background noise, an unidentified female voice emerged in the final seconds of the footage. It said, almost in a whisper, "He's gone. Make sure no one hears this again." Experts verified the waveform. It wasn't Menglong's voice, and it wasn't any of the male figures in the video. Someone else was in that room. Someone who has yet to be identified. This revelation sparked new theories, that the cover-up was larger than anyone had imagined. Some even claimed the hotel was part of a safe house network used to silence celebrities who learned too much. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain. The footage was more than evidence. It was a message. A desperate cry from a man who saw death coming and tried to fight it until his last breath. His fans now call it the 9th-Floor prophecy. Because that night, in that lonely room, Yumenglong didn't just cry for help. He left behind a warning that the world can no longer ignore. And as investigators dig deeper into the shadows of Tianyu media, whispers grow louder. There are other tapes, other stars, other nights where the lights flickered, the screams went unheard, and justice was left waiting at the door. Yumenglong's final cry wasn't just the sound of a man dying, it was the sound of an entire system cracking open. And this time, the world is listening.